There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan Shnock. I want to say good morning to all of my fellow Toastmasters, Madam Toastmaster. I wanted to give you a little bit about who I am. And I'm going to do that in a way by giving you some pictures and giving you a chance to sort of see Dan Shnock from early all the way till now. Two things that you'll find about my passion and my purpose is that I have mantras. The first mantra that I have was taught by my wife, and it was work hard, play hard, have fun. I will always try to do that. The second mantra came from my dad, and it was work as if everything depends on you, but pray as if everything depends on the big guy. So I've taken that to heart. I try to use that in everything, and I try to have fun doing it, just like we do here at the Toastmasters. Let's see if I can get this going right. There we go. So early years. Yes, born in 1967. For some, you think that's way old. For some, you think that's the good year that you wish you were back in that year and just living and loving. When I was growing up, one thing that was very important to us was faith. My dad had us as young kids be altar boys, my brother and I. Yes, that is my mom holding me over on the right, and there in the middle as a younger lady. My father, Robert John Shnock, you can see he was a rather disciplined individual, came from a German family. Strictness, faith, and family were very important. We always ate dinner together. We always made sure that we sat around watching TV together. But of course, as a younger kid, I only got two shows. One was Disney, and the other was Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom. If you don't remember those, they were amazing, absolutely amazing. But what we learned was that family was very, very important. You see my brother there. My brother, he was always the comedian. He was always the older. You see him holding my hand there on the steps. That's right before he threw me down those steps, and I ended up going to the hospital and got about 5 stitches. But family, as you can see, very, very important to me. From my younger life, we went to what I like to call my regimented years. This is middle school, high school, and even on to college. When I was young, Dad had a schedule. He had his schedule, and then everyone else had their schedule. I can tell you pretty much 5 days a week, I woke up in the morning, Dad always had a newspaper out for us, so the Washington Post I delivered from middle school on. So paper before 6 o'clock had to be delivered, breakfast, off to school, soccer or wrestling, sometimes cheerleading. After that, I'd come home and I did homework, and then I had dinner and pretty much went to bed. Didn't watch TV. That was my schedule 5 days a week. Now, when I went from there off to Virginia Military Institute, it stayed the same. I got up in the morning, we did PT, we ate, we had school all day, we had military duty or soccer, and then pretty much you went to bed at 11 o'clock after you finished all your studies. The great news about going off to Virginia Military Institute was that young lady down in the right-hand corner. She's a little bit older in that picture. She's 29 there, of course. But I met my best friend, Susan. And from there, we have literally had grand adventures the remainder of our life. The great part also about VMI was that I had a chance in that regimented life to learn about the military. So of course, I ended up going into the military and having a good time. You can see a couple pictures up here, and I'll share with you that one thing that was consistent in my career was that I deployed quite often. My first assignment was Fort Knox, Kentucky, where I was a young lieutenant standing there with Sergeant Weller. When I was a young lieutenant, I was at Fort Knox for 3.5 years, and 3 years I was away from the base, literally traveling to other places. That picture was Desert Shield, Desert Storm with actual storm in Norman. Some of us who are a little bit older remember that. But consistently through my career, I deployed. All the way up to 2003 when I deployed to Iraq, and we went into Iraq and did our thing in Afghanistan. But it was a great time. It was a great adventure. I met many, many individuals. You can see some pictures of them up there. I also had some trauma. There was a young lady that's sitting here in the left-hand corner by the name of Jessica Lynch. She was in my convoy. We lost 10 individuals on the same day. That was tough. But throughout my military career, what I found was that the people were amazing. I had a great time, had grand adventures, and I absolutely loved it. So 22 years in the military, and then I went back to doing what I like to do best, is being a part of my family. Here you see what truly is my passion and my faith. All right, I pray every day to the big guy, making sure he's taking care of my family. I would sacrifice anything to take care of these individuals. My wife, who's been with me for 5 years of dating, and basically 32, 33 years of marriage. I always did it on June 6th because I'll never forget D-Day, easy, right? So June 6th was the day we got married, and she has awarded me with so much pleasure and joy, to include my son, Daniel Wilson, my daughter, Victoria, and my other stepdaughter, sort of, Karina, who's one of our exchange students, but I can't get rid of her. She's been with us now for about 10 years, so she's our daughter also. Family and faith is hugely important to me. I tell individuals all the time, if you take and give me this, I will do anything in the world to make things happen, right? Positivity, enjoyment, and really faith, family, and then the friends and loyalty that I have. So what I'll conclude with, and of course, for those of you, some of my movies that are up here, you've got The Bad News Bears, always loved it, not the new one, Walter Matthau, old style. Then, of course, you have Secondhand Lions, and then Princess Bride, which is tattooed on my arm to remind my wife, because I could never tell her I loved her. I always told her, as you wish. It worked. And I can't forget my fur babies. I've had Basset Hounds for the last probably 4 or 5 dogs. They're the best thing in the world, but oh my God, can they bark. So I'll simply finish with this. My family, my purpose, my passion, you see the picture of all of us up there, and then the military was the loyalty and the faith to our country and the patriotism I like to show. So thank you very much for the time. If you have any questions, grab me later.